Welcome, Dr. Labani from Easy Biostat. In How to Begin Data Analysis series, in the earlier videos, we talked about summarization in qualitative data, such as one-way table, two-way table, and three-way table, and their demonstration on SPSS package. And now we focus upon quantitative data summarization. So quantitative data summarization requires for further analysis and estimation and testing of hypothesis of data. In this series, how to begin data analysis, so this particular talk is on numerical summarization and confidence interval. So first of all, why to summarize? Summarize whatever data at different stages, like from questionnaire to Excel spreadsheet, and then further condensation as tables and figures. A lot of condensation takes place, so which helps us in detecting similarities and dissimilarities. We can arrange in few classes thousands of data, and we can easily compare and what are the most significant features we can detect, and prominent data identified as important information, which reader can easily note that. Now these are the types of data we have been talking about, and in the earlier videos, summarization of qualitative data we have taken up. Now summarization of quantitative data is being taken up in this video. Now there are three broad steps of summarization of data. The first step is classification of categorical data, and third step is graphical summarization. So this first one is already done by us in the previous videos, and now what we take up is numerical summaries. So with the help of by computing mean, median, standard deviation, etc. Now this is a knowledge test item. Knowledge on computation of numerical summaries of quantitative measures such as mean, median, mode, and standard deviation. We all must be aware of them because it is a schooling syllabus. What is the only difference is that we will get to know which measure of average is to be applied in what context in the medical data. Now numerical summarization, we have the knowledge of how to calculate mean. Mean is simple arithmetic mean, sum of observations divided with the number, which is denoted as x bar, and median is the middle observation, mode is the most frequent observation, and standard deviation is the spread of observations. So this is the sample mean is the central values, mean, median, mode, and standard deviation is the spread. So why to go for standard deviation? If we can see that we are talking about two series here. One is glucose level in group 1 and the glucose level in group 2. So the values are spread of these values or dispersion of these values are a lot of difference, though the mean is same in both. So that means only mean alone cannot suffice for us to represent the data. Standard deviation, which is a measure of dispersion, which is calculated like this, is needed. Now for numerical data, apart from central value and spread, there are other locations commonly used and presented for various presentations. Median, we have seen that it is a middle observation, and divide the data into two parts. Then percentiles, this divide data into 100 parts, and deciles will divide the data into 10 parts. Quartile divide into 4 parts. Tertile divide the data into 3 parts. So some of the details here of computation. Percentiles, we are all aware that even academic scores are also given in terms of percentiles, 90th percentile, 95th percentile, like that. How to calculate a 93rd percentile? So 93 multiplied by sample size divided by 100. Similarly, deciles, it divides into 10 equal parts. Quartiles, 4 equal parts. So the 50th, the middle quartile is equivalent to either 50th percentile or median in this case. So this is first quartile, second quartile and third quartile. So in 3 quartiles, divide the total data into 4 parts. Tertiles, first tertile, and so one third division is done in this case. So let us have a knowledge test item. Mean we have computed, standard deviation we know, multiplied by 2 or 1.96. Mean plus or minus 2 times or 1.96 times standard deviation include 95% of observation for symmetric normal distribution. So we need to know, even if we did not know it earlier. So most of our biological data follows a bell-shaped curve. So in this property of normal distribution helps us in medical conclusions, in drawing medical conclusions. So then there are the properties are spelled out here. Mean plus or minus 1 standard deviation, 68% of the data are covered. 2 times standard deviation cover 95% of the data, and 3 times standard deviation cover 99% of the data are covered. So these properties are very much useful. In the normal distribution, what happens is we can make use of normal distribution for the inference of our medical data. Medical conclusions can be drawn using the normal distribution, but it doesn't actually use this. Like, let us suppose we are dealing with cholesterol level. What it does is normal distribution convert our original variable into some other variable, which is our original variable, medical variable, minus some constant divided by some constant. So it is named as Z. So a normal distribution works on this Z. So that is why we have to convert our data also like this. This Z distribution is called standard normal distribution. So why? Because it has a special property. If you calculate Z, mean of Z, you will get 0, and standard deviation of Z, you will get 1. So using this transformation, we can calculate the areas under the normal curve also, which are useful for our medical inference. So for example, I give an example how to calculate a Z. So individual observation minus mean divided by standard deviation. For example, systolic blood pressure. For a particular a woman's systolic blood pressure is 126 mmHg. We know that the population mean is 135 and standard deviation is 8. So if you from 126 we subtract 135 and divided by 8, we will get minus 1.112, which has got an interpretation. This particular woman in the population, she is one standard deviation below the mean. So that is why minus 1 standard deviation. Similarly for HB level also, it is minus 2 standard deviation below the it is below the mean, and this is the interpretation of Z, and it is useful in pediatric research also for assessing the newborns' weight according to the standards. So now coming to statistical methods. We talked about descriptive methods, calculation of mean, median, standard deviation. Earlier we talked about proportion and percentage also. So these are all descriptives. Now coming to inferential statistics, there are two arms. One is estimation, 95% confidence interval, other is test of significance. So obviously whatever mean we calculate here, so that is an estimate of the population mean, but standard deviation is not so. We are going to talk about now on that. So 95% confidence interval of mean, are you aware? So we are going to give some more details even if you partially know it. A summary measures such as mean, proportion, etc. on a sample of observations are called estimates or point estimates of the population. Population is a larger group and sample is a small group. Now we have a population of heights of men. So what is our process in our study? We never study the entire population. We draw a sample out of that. So a sample is drawn. So for that sample, I have found out the mean height is 1.5 feet. So can I make any statement like this? I am 90 after knowing the population estimate of the population mean. Can I make a statement that I am 95% confident that the population mean is between 5.3 and 6.3 feet? So that means you are giving the range. What are the likely heights in the 95% of cases in the population fall? So how to compute that? That is called 95% confidence interval. So it is an interval, it is okay. Where from 95 is coming? 95 is coming exactly from your normal distribution, 2 times standard deviation plus or minus mean. So that's what we demonstrate and see here. So what happens is there is a population for which mean and standard deviation are there. We never bother to calculate there. We always take samples from that. So if we take different samples, we will get different estimates for the same population. What happens if all means are taken and calculate standard deviation of the means, all means, that we will get what is the uncertainty of the mean that we computed, that we will come to know, that is called standard error. That standard error is computed using by the formula standard deviation divided by square root of n divided by sample size. This is the standard deviation. So we don't have to actually draw different sample means and calculate their standard deviation. We have a direct formula for that from central limit theorem. And confidence interval, how do we compute now? X bar plus or minus 1.96 into standard error, that is sigma by square root of n. This 1.96 or 2, we approximately we say that. So otherwise 95% of intervals contain mu. Whatever interval, two values that we get here, our population mean lies between that. With 0.95 probability. 95% chances are there. So a random sample of 80 tablets had an average potency of 15 mg. Assume that sigma is 4, then we are having sample mean is 15, standard deviation 4, sample size 80. So we can easily, all the required information is there, we can calculate, and we have got 16 mg to 14 mg to 16 mg. That is the 95% confidence interval. Now we will take another example. Suppose we have cholesterol levels of 300 children, and we know that mean and standard deviation are 130 and 25. So we can compute standard error as 25 divided by square root of 300 is 1.45. So the interval 95% confidence interval is as follows. We are by substituting, and we are getting 95% CAS 127 to 133. How do we interpret that? This means that there is 95% chance of population mean of cholesterol level to be included in the interval 127 to 133. The population mean estimate is 130 and the range is 127 to 130 in 95% of the cases. So the interval when used mean plus or minus 2 standard deviation. that will tell us 95% of observations fall into that. So this is for sample, they are 80 to 180. When you use standard deviation, when you use standard error, it is for population. So the knowledge item next is awareness of test of significance in the medical research. So let us come to know a beginning of that. A threshold of 95% confidence statement indicates that there remains an uncertainty of 5%. What happens if leaving about 95%, how much is left out of 100%? 5%. That 5% could result into a critical region or rejection region like that. So that's why it is yes or no type of answers that we get. We reject the hypothesis or do not reject the hypothesis. Hypothesis we take it as equally effective. Like that we take, which we talk about in detail later. That becomes the basis for hypothesis testing. So this hypothesis testing is the topic for the next video. Now with this I thank you. See you again. Easy Biostat.